Do you find interactions with the poor of Washington or New York or any sort of city, do you find these difficult or just kind of embarrassing? Or what's the phenomenology of these?
No, I think it is helpful to describe our experience in brutally honest terms because otherwise people end up gaslit. Like, if people who talk about serving the poor only talk about it in glowing terms, then most people who don't serve the poor with any frequency and are made largely uncomfortable or experience the situation as fraught will probably feel like terrible human beings and then never want to admit to that / talk about that with any frequency. So I think it is helpful just to say, like, yeah, it can be difficult. Yeah, there is a certain uncomfortability. Yes, the relationship may or may not be fraught. There are people who do this beautifully and well. So I'm thinking especially of like Christ in the City in Denver, Colorado.
Yes.
And which is expanded beyond the bounds of Denver, Colorado. I think they might be elsewhere at this stage of the game. But I think part of what makes it difficult is, one, the experience of poverty in the contemporary world in a welfare state.
Yes.
And then,
That's right.
and then two, like the kind of pressures of modern or contemporary society, which kind of direct our attention towards efficiency and optimization, maximization, and away from the human element. So I think that we're drifting in two registers in a way that makes it difficult. So, like, I think in the modern welfare state, poverty has come to a kind of acute crisis. Like, I was talking to one of the brothers at one point, and he was describing how there are a handful of missionaries of charity who have served in New York who have left the order after, like however many years, and in part because of the acute difficulty of, like, the poor of New York. That's not to assign
Sort of
fault.
like entrenched.
Yeah,
class,
but like
basically,
apparently the most difficult thing to deal with is lack of gratitude. That's not to say that all poor people the world over are ungrateful. It's not to judge particular individuals in the New York metro area, but it is to say that there is an experience of gratitude, an experience of entitlement that comes with the welfare state.
Yeah.
Because there are so many handouts available through so many different means that it kind of depersonalizes the one who hands out or the one who ministers and cares.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think. Oh man, we're gonna jump right into this, I suppose. So I think a lot of times through the lens of Kant, the sage of Königsberg.
Do you?
Yeah. I go to him for...
Didn't know that.
Yeah, who knew? There he is, up there.
There he is,
maybe
indeed.
people can see him. Yeah, who knew? And Kant is on the gratitude point is really fascinating. He thinks actually, like, in interactions with the poor, gratitude's the wrong thing to have. Wow. Like, that would defeat the purpose of like, you shouldn't expect... because, interestingly enough... the welfare state is just getting started with him. His time period is not like he started, but in in that time where the state is able to take up, the point of the state is to allow maximum freedom, and so it takes up and assists people in their basic needs. If you can't assist people to have their basic needs met in terms of health and shelter and food and such, your state has no point, because the point of the state is to allow people to be free as people. And so for Kant, the meeting the beggar or the poor person on the street, anything that is to be given to them is actually a debt of justice for him. It's the state that owes him the money, because if he's there under the right auspices, it's because the state has failed him. And so to ask him to have gratitude to you as you give to him is to fail to understand what he's actually due.
Bertrand, would you say that you're optimistic about this subscription appeal?
No.
Would you say that you're optimistic about anything?
No.
Well, I am. Folks, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. Cheers.